Good morning and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the UNF Department of Communication and CW17. I'm Sarah Van Zant.
And I'm Amel Kamel. We're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast.
In the past few decades, computers and digital technology have revolutionized the way we live our lives. In this day and age, we are more connected and have access to more resources than ever before.
This month, we explore the exciting and ever-changing world of technology and how it's changing the way we live, work, and play.
You usually don't hear the words technology and religion in the same sentence. That's not the case at Jacksonville's Wayman Ministries. New technology is allowing the church to reach an audience in a whole new way. Andy Leverett shows us how.
A typical church gathering fills the pews at Wayman Ministries, and there is a lot of hustle happening behind the scenes. Computers, switches, dials, modems, soundboards, and cameras. Wayman Ministry runs a lot of equipment. This is because the church now broadcasts all of their Sunday services online. Pastor Mark Griffin has been leading Wayman Ministry since 1995. He just recently begun to live stream his worships.
We started using live stream technology about 6 to 9 months ago. It was something that we felt that we needed to do to help further our message in our ministry.
Griffin realized that a number of his church members did a lot of corporate traveling, but didn't want to miss the worship services. So late last year, he installed a full live streaming setup in his two churches.
What really caused me to really take a good hard look at it, I had one particular member whose job was relocating her at that time to Atlanta. When she moved from Jacksonville to Atlanta, she had a desire to really stay connected. And so we began to look at it. And it's been a blessing because she's still a part of our ministry remotely.
Antoinette Crawford first moved to Atlanta for work and then to Texas. She was very sad to leave her church and her community. She doesn't get to visit Jacksonville much, so she now relies on watching the live stream on her tablet and laptop.
I lived in Jacksonville for approximately 12 years before I got a promotion and moved to Atlanta. And once I found out that we were live streaming, then that was like awesome, because then I was able to feel like I was there, like I was still a part of the actual congregation. It really feels like I'm on the front row. There have been times where my emotions are just as raw as they would be if I was sitting in the sanctuary.
Watching the live stream makes Crawford want to go to the sanctuary in person.
While it's great to enjoy the comfort of watching the live stream from your home, it's nothing like seeing it in person.
Griffin feels the same way, and that notion originally caused him to be cautious of implementing live streaming technology.
I felt that the live stream technology may take away from the church in the sense that there would be people that might decide to watch the worship service from afar and would not physically come into the church.
Besides that concern, there are many complicated facets that go into putting on a professional live streaming broadcast. The technology and equipment do not always cooperate.
Some connectivity issues and power surges. We have those kind of things, but we have the technical people, which I am not a technical person, but we have the technical people who are able to come in and troubleshoot.
Darian Bathalter is one of the IT people responsible for making the live stream run smoothly. Darian not only solves and prevents issues, but he also checks to see how many people are watching.
There's a graph that we can see, and it shows our attendance online. And you know, there's this peak every Sunday, and there's nothing throughout the week. And the next Sunday, that peak gets a little bit bigger, and it's just been getting bigger and bigger every month.
Darian believes that he is helping the community unite and the church save money with his work live streaming.
It's helped spread the name of the church, and it's helped draw people in at a cost way lower than any advertising budget.
At the end of the day, Griffin and the members of Wayman Ministries are adjusting to spirituality, mixing with technology through live streaming.
The benefits of live stream technology and the benefits of technology in general far outweigh the problems that you will occasionally have, and it just helps us to, again, reach a larger audience.
Andy Leverett, Inside Jacksonville.
Andy adds that Wayman may be ahead of the curve, but it isn't the only religious organization on that curve. Surveys show more churches are beginning to utilize technology, from video production to web resources and even new financial management.
When computer printers first hit the market in the 1950s, they revolutionized the printing industry, producing documents faster and more precisely than ever before. Today, the technology has leaped into a whole new dimension, literally. Andrew Huddleston introduces us to a couple of guys who are part of that new dimension.
All right, we have hopes, dreams. We just say, okay, we're going to make a baby, and then boom, you make a baby.
And these guys' babies aren't made the old-fashioned way, but with ingenuity and technology. The Forge is Jacksonville's first consumer-level 3D printing studio. Co-founders Bryce Fanensteel and Adam Dukes share a creative and entrepreneurial spirit. When the opportunity to open their own business came up, they jumped at it.
In the back of my mind, I knew that I always wanted to create something. Ran into 3D printing online, started reading about the technology, and really fell in love with it. I realized this was going to be a technology that's going to change the world.
The process of printing a 3D object is deceptively simple. It starts with an idea. From there, the idea is workshopped and built in a modeling program on a computer. It's then sent to the printer, where the magic happens.
Some printers are capable of working with ceramics. Others use metals. Forge's printer, however, uses a type of plastic resin.
The design is projected into the printer and built layer by layer over several hours. Once it's finished, it's left to harden in an ultraviolet light bay. From there, Forge's co-owners fine-tune their creation and send it to the customer. The process is time-consuming and often challenging.
Well, you find out more skills that are necessary every day you do it. 3D printing has a lot of unique kind of engineering skills. You have to learn how to do the 3D modeling. You have to learn how to put together, maintain, and operate the printers. And then on top of that, you have to learn how to solve problems.
The uses are endless. Imagine an amputee getting a new hand, or an inventor seeing their creation for the first time. A full body scanner lets people even get models of themselves. Picture the happy bride and groom as they dig into a cake topped with 3D models of themselves. Forge works to make 3D printing accessible and affordable to most people.
Well, 3D printing is a local resource. It's something that's done right here in Jacksonville. We're a group of people that you can interact with immediately down the street. It's a local resource that opens up a lot of low-cost solutions to people who are trying to create new things.
The hours are long and often demanding, but for Bryce and Adam, they're worth it.
We're offering the public an opportunity to participate in a process that I feel is rewarding. I feel like passion is going to spread. I feel like anybody that came in and started doodling, came up with their own design, you put it in their hand, they're going to get all giddy like we were,
Yeah, these guys are pretty happy about it. Andrew Huddleston, Inside Jacksonville.
3D printing technology has been at the center of controversy lately. The printers are able to create plastic parts that can be assembled into firearms that may be undetectable by metal detectors.
There was a time when a simple infection could be deadly. Penicillin changed that. Today, technology can be just as important and is just as important as medications in saving lives. Nicole Laura shows us some new medical technology that's helping doctors spot colon cancer a lot earlier.
The EndoChoice View System is a colonoscopy technology that gives surgeons a view like never before. Jacksonville is one of only 5 states that's home to the panoramic view technology.
The older technology just had one center camera. So we now have a camera in the center and on the right and on the left. And when you do a colonoscopy...
Dr. Scalapio is a gastroenterologist with the University of Florida Health Centers. Although Jacksonville Center has only used the EndoChoice View system since January, he's already seen a difference.
It just enhances your field of view that I can look straight away and then on the other 2 monitors to the right and to the left.
The goal of a colonoscopy is to find any abnormal lumps inside the intestine, called polyps. An extended field of view means that there's a better range of finding polyps that may be hidden within the side creases. Dr. Scalapio gave me a look at what the old technology looked like compared to the new Fuse system.
You can get a feel for what this looks like on the way out. This is the older technology. And try to get a feel for your eyes of what that looks like. Okay. And then if you could turn on the two side screens now. Okay, and then that's the difference. So you can see with just the center screen on, it gives you a kind of a tunnel view, if you will. And then as I come out, you can see this panoramic view.
The difference between the single view to the panoramic view is easy to see and improves overall detection for colonoscopy patients.
Not only does this new technology help better detect colon cancer, but it costs virtually the same for the patient as the previous technology.
This is Tim Belusak, the administrator at the surgery center. He too has seen the improved results. He says at his age, he can really appreciate the improved technology.
For a white male coming in at 50, I wouldn't come back till 60. I was scoped 2 years ago, no findings. But with this equipment, what if they had found something? Had something been found, my recall rate would be less.
With the old technology, patients like Belusak wouldn't be scoped again for 10 years. With the new technology, patients are now being recommended to come back sooner due to the increased polyp findings.
Had this technology been available then, and had it picked up something, I'd be coming back maybe in 2 or 3 years, right? So, and as Dr. Scalpio elaborated, the sooner the polyps are removed, the less likely you're going to develop colorectal cancer.
And that, of course, means saving more lives. Nicole Laura, Inside Jacksonville.
Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States, taking nearly 50,000 lives every year. This new technology just might make a dent in those numbers, though.
You know, I really hope it does. When we return, we take a look at a Jacksonville company that turns fantasy into reality.
Plus, see how the River City is helping innovative thinkers get the resources they need to take their projects to the next level. Stick around.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Air is precious. We all need it to survive. But did you know air is also a key component for a certain type of technology that can sometimes look like magic? Let's head downtown for a tour of the Sally Corporation.
So, you have come to find out how Sally makes the magic, oui?
Here is just one of the many Sally Corporation animatronic characters. The company got its name after the first big successful creation, Sally, the singing and piano-playing animatronic bombshell. It had to be you. Lauren Wood is the daughter of John Wood, one of the 3 founders of Sally. Lauren practically grew up here.
Well, for me, each day is a whirlwind because every day is different. You never know who our client's going to be, but we're always trying to entertain.
They call it edutainment. This versatile local business is known worldwide.
But then down the line, we really took a note from Mr. Disney himself, and we started putting our animatronic characters into dark rides.
A dark ride is an indoor amusement ride that tells a story to participants in a moving or non-moving vehicle through different interactive and sometimes three-dimensional scenes.
As Nintendo got really popular, our rides became interactive.
So how does a process like this begin?
We make storyboards. It all has to be approved by the client. And then once the storyboards are approved, then we start making out all the specs for our production team. And then they start busting stuff out.
First step, the sculpt and mold department, where Lauren actually has first-hand experience as a model.
And then I was also Supergirl's hands. And in the ride, Supergirl holds up this large wall so that it doesn't fall on the volunteers that are coming through the ride. And so I also had to sit in here and have my hands just exactly like this for like 4 hours as they molded that. But pretty cool.
Here, an artist will start with a ball of clay or wax and a picture. Their goal is to get every detail from that picture into their sculpture.
Because obviously you can't put a ball of clay or wax on a thing of machinery and make it flexible and make it move how you want to make it move. So we're determined to make kind of this 1/4 inch flexible skin. So we'll coat the sculpt in a liquid fiberglass form, and it'll harden and it'll get all of the detail from that original sculpt into the mold itself. Obviously this isn't very flexible either, this is hard as a rock. So we then inject it with a catalyst silicone, and something like this comes out.
Clearly, that character needs some eyeballs, a tongue, and hair, but he will get all of that in art finish. Lauren says that's where their characters really come to life.
Think you're clever, eh? Think it can come to you to our pirate hideaway and ride off with our gold?
Once the characters are created, the scenes are perfected.
All are doomed that disturb these sacred sands.
You know, once we get the ride car over here, we have to install the gun and targeting system into the ride car. So each department kind of plays their own role. One of the cool things that we have been able to do is with a new type of paint. It's actually an invisible paint that can only be seen under black light. You can basically paint 2 murals on top of one another.
This new paint makes it easy to switch the mood from warm and fuzzy to scary and creepy. The Sally Corporation is one of the few companies of its kind.
So Sarah, what was the coolest thing you saw?
Well, Lauren showed me a model of one of her favorite rides. It's actually in Belgium, but it's a trackless system.
So why is it good to have a trackless system?
Well, one, you can't see where you're going, so that's kind of interesting. And 2, it just makes it more fun.
Well, that's great. When you turn on your TV, you probably don't think about how it works or what it takes to get your favorite shows transmitted directly to your living room. But one station in Jacksonville is using a new broadcast technology to do something revolutionary. Here's Myra Souza.
Like all public TV stations, WJCT has had to cut its budget to make up for cuts in government funding. New transmission technology may help make that easier. JCT may soon become a central transmission point for PBS stations around the country. Rob Merrill is the network engineer at WJCT.
What we do is from the central location, through a fiber optic network, we provide a transmission stream out to the stations. So once that transmission stream reaches the station, all they really have to do is just send that out to their transmitter, and then it gets broadcast into the local area.
According to Merrill, the project started because they wanted to test a way to have all the shows transmitted from one single location. It started with a station in Orlando. Engineers created a centralized system to service the station more than 100 miles away.
We've been running that station across a fiber optic network for over a year now. And that was prior to us building out this facility that'll be servicing all the stations in the group. So once we got that one up and running, we were able to use that as a platform to look at what works, what doesn't work, how we can streamline what we're trying to do.
Lee Boland is a technician at WJCT. For him, a centralized master control makes the quality of programs better for viewers because it's easier for engineers.
I think that this system is a lot easier now because it's all built into one.
and it makes it a little bit faster to troubleshoot problems and things instead of having to go back to different computer programs.
The benefit of this new technology is that PBS stations from all around the nation will be able to share resources, save money, and stay on air.
Able to consolidate all those resources into a central location. This provides efficiency across the board for all the stations, from anything from manpower to having to replace equipment to even the material itself.
Merrill also says that by having all programs transmitted from a single location, it will allow the stations to save money and invest more in local shows for the community.
I think one of the biggest benefits is that this type of system does provide a lot of cost savings for these stations, and it allows them to apply their resources to other areas, and they don't have to be as concerned with having to replace this type of equipment every 5 years. They can put those monetary resources towards other things to help the communities.
WJCT currently has one station using this technology. 10 other stations around the nation plan on having their shows transmitted from Colo 5, a data center here in Jacksonville as well. Amaira Souza, inside Jacksonville.
When we come back, see how inventors and entrepreneurs are trying to get their ideas off the ground.
A new annual event is sparking big changes for Jacksonville. That's next.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
At the foundation of every success story is a good idea. Too often, those good ideas have a hard time becoming reality.
Our next story shows how one new organization is giving people in Jacksonville a say in which ideas deserve to make it big. Blake Smith shows us how.
Innovators, inventors, investors, and entrepreneurs. There's an exciting new annual event bringing energy to downtown Jacksonville in ways the city could have only dreamed of just 2 years ago. It's called One Spark, and it's about just that, turning dreams into reality.
We're all about connecting ideas with funding and with the resources they need to move them forward, and that's huge because nobody's actually truly doing that.
Joe Sampson is the executive director of this year's event. He tells me it's a one-of-a-kind experience with big implications for the River City.
One Spark empowers the crowd to decide what the market's going to look like in a few years. So through their votes, through their contributions, they're essentially creating the world that they want by selecting the projects that are going to move forward and become a reality.
One Spark not only allows creators to showcase their creations, it also gives them a chance to pitch their ideas to investors and compete for thousands of dollars in crowdfunding.
The way that the money is distributed is sourced by the crowd, whether they're giving it in real time or whether they're deciding how it's dispersed.
This year's One Spark is big on technology, and with so many creators competing for a shot at crowdfunding, it's all about standing out.
We got a lot of tricks. We got a lot more stuff that's not here now that's going to be coming in the next 2 days. You know, there's not confetti out here yet, but mark my words, it's going to be all over the city by Saturday night.
Mark McCombs is an engineer, entrepreneur, and robotics expert participating in this year's event. His nonprofit organization, Renaissance Jacks Incorporated, has big plans for the River City in the coming years.
I wouldn't have a studio space or a machine shop right now if it wasn't for OneSpark. I know too many people who have been positively impacted in terms of what they now believe is possible. OneSpark is a launch pad for me to tell my story about what Renaissance Jacks is all about, and I'm hoping that the crowd can really identify with me.
McCombs hopes to use OneSpark as an opportunity to breathe life into his ideas, but he's not alone. More than 630 creators are participating in OneSpark 2014. Showcasing a wide variety of new and up-and-coming technology.
If the child gets away more than 10 feet, for example, that's your distance, then the bracelets will vibrate.
Larry Harvey is the director of the Center for Applied Space Technology. He's an ex-Navy pilot whose project has the potential to revolutionize the energy industry. I met up with him before this year's OneSpark to get a behind-the-scenes look of his new technology.
Again, we can generate power fairly cheaply, very mobile, lightweight, compact, and environmentally secure.
With the help of crowdfunding and potential investors, Harvey hopes to raise the money he needs to manufacture this technology on a larger scale.
We have some connections in the industry. We'd love to be able to play a role in that, and we see OneSpark as a way for us to also get our message out.
OneSpark is still a startup itself, but with roughly 200 more creators this year and 100,000 more people in attendance, it seems they have ignited a new tradition that is truly unique to downtown Jacksonville.
Can I hear you say Duval? Can I hear you say OneSpark? All right, give yourselves a round of applause for OneSpark.
Blake Smith, Inside Jacksonville.
In just its second year, OneSpark attracted nearly 250,000 people.
Yeah, not only that, it's expanding worldwide, and there will be one held in Berlin in just a few months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap for today's Inside Jacksonville.
If you missed anything from today's program, just click through to our website. Go to unfmedia.com and click on Inside Jacksonville. You'll find expanded versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras.
Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning.
We'll see you next time inside Jacksonville.